to our final video in our 5-part series. Today we'll be talking about the pros and cons of GMO. If you'd like to learn about other topics of GMO, you can click up here somewhere on the screen, or the link will be in the descriptions from our previous videos.
Supporters of GMO love to point out the many benefits of it, especially when less people are farming but more people exist on the earth. Farmers like to use GMOs because they make it easier to grow larger crops, save money on weed and insect control, and place plants closer together, resulting in a higher harvest.
An argument that GMO supporters make is GMO can end world hunger, but it cannot. A study that took place over 7 years shows that we produce enough non-GMO food to feed the world. The main reason the world is hungry is because of poverty.
Another reason GMO wouldn't help is because people in the other countries don't want to eat the GMO food. Take Haiti, for example. An already poor country was destroyed from an earthquake in January of 2010. Monsanto, a company that manufactures GMO seeds, offered to send 475 tons of the seeds in May of 2010. The people burned them, saying they were unnatural and would give up their way of living. Another main complaint they had was that once they planted the seeds, they couldn't reuse them, so it wouldn't help them in the long run.
All biologists agree that altered genes from GMOs, especially plants or bacteria, could mix with wild organisms and cause harm. But there's a lot of disagreement over how big a danger this is. In many parts of the world, especially Europe and Japan, they strongly disagree with the idea of eating foods made from GM plants. And in those other countries, GM crops are usually labeled or they're just banned from being sold. But in the United States, most packaged foods already contain some GM plant material but are not labeled.
In an episode of The Eyes of Nye about genetically modified foods, Bill Nye gives an example of what could happen when we genetically modify foods, and I'm going to quote it. Let's say we genetically modified this corn so that when insects eat it, they die. Then the wind blows, and some of the pollen from that corn blows over to these wildflowers. And there are butterflies that rely on these flowers that then die, and there are not as many butterflies in the summer. And if these are rare butterflies that fly at night, the bats would normally feed on those butterflies, and they can't get enough to eat for a whole summer. So they don't have nearly enough food source, so they don't have enough success for making babies for the next summer. There aren't nearly enough bats around to eat mosquitoes, and these mosquitoes have a disease in them. And when they suck our human blood, they give the disease to us, and now we die. Now, I admit this was made up, but a scenario like this could be possible.
Many scientists believe that the creation of genetically modified organisms is a good thing. They believe that GMOs will not only make money for the companies that sell them, such as that sell GM cotton, corn, soybean, and other crop seed, but it will help people in poor countries become healthier. But some scientists and many non-scientists disagree. They believe that GMOs will generally not help the poor, and they may damage human health or the environment.
Thank you for watching our series on GMO foods.